For the last couple of years, it has been heavily rumored that a collaboration between quote-unquote mainstream black metal legends Cradle of Filth and one of the most successful artists of all time, Ed Sheeran, will strangely enough come together for some sort of joint collaboration. Now, in a new interview with Cradle frontman Danny Filth, he has revealed that the song that the two are working on is almost complete and aiming to be released this summer, which just begs the question, how the hell did this even come together? Does Ed Sheeran even like Cradle of Filth, or is he even a metalhead at all? So today, we're going to take a look at Ed's origins with metal and find out how this collaboration with Cradle of Filth even came to be. I think the first time that Ed Sheeran and metal were discussed in the same breath comes from a 2015 Jimmy Fallon comedy bit about an album called Ed Sheeran Sings Heavy Metal, which featured Ed performing acoustic renditions of Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills and Limp Bizkit's all-time drywall-punching douchebag anthem, Break Stuff. But let's be real. That's actually a great song, and Ed actually knocked it out of the park when he did both of those. Anyways, aside from hanging out at a Marilyn Manson show backstage with Korn in 2018, in 2017, Sheeran noted that he grew up with quite a diverse taste in music, saying, quote, "My first sort of music that I got into that wasn't from my parents was rap, metal, punk. I went one day listening to Iowa, Slipknot, and the next day listening to Damien Rice's Oh." He further expanded that statement in a 2021 interview with The Sun, saying, "I listened to Cradle of Filth and Slipknot and all that stuff. I'm not saying I could ever step into that world, but I learned all those riffs on guitar as a kid. That's something I've never thought about doing, but something I would not be opposed to creating." Following the publishing of the Sun interview from 2021, Danny Filth shared a screenshot of the article with the headline, "Ed Sheeran is open to recording a death metal album after spending his youth listening to Cradle of Filth." What a fucking title. And wrote the following caption, "I'll believe it when I see it. Fellow Suffolk lad could come good in the end. Dracula's Castle on the Hill, anyone?" Later that year, in an interview with the Kerrang! Radio Breakfast Show, Danny revealed that he had actually been in contact with Ed Sheeran, saying, quote, "I've actually been emailing with Ed. He actually touched base with me. I've been invited up to his place. Well, he said he could come down to mine, but I pointed out to him that I don't own my own bar or village, and it'd be better if I went there. He said he'd do anything, quite literally. He said he's a massive fan. He seems like a genuinely very nice guy, actually." I am not saying that this is what happened, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if a lot of this was planned, even just a little bit. Ed mentions Cradle and doing heavier stuff in an interview. Danny follows that up by saying, "I'll believe it when I see it." And then months later, they're actively figuring out a way to make a project together work. It is entirely possible that it truly did come together as simple as that. But I wouldn't be even the least bit surprised if some of this was already somewhat in the works and they were just playing the press to their advantage. Any further news of the two collaborating would be pretty much non-existent until late last year, when Danny Filth in December posted a photo of he and Ed at a pub in Suffolk with the following caption, "A little over a week ago, I was having lunch with the Unlikely Lads, having just done something fun." Now, in a new interview with Metal Hammer, Danny noted that the project is near completion, saying, quote, "Ed's done all his parts. It's just bass and vocals for me to do on my return to England after Easter. It's exactly how you can imagine it'll sound if you can imagine Ed Sheeran with Cradle of Filth. He plays acoustic guitar on it, but it's heavy. It's got a blast beat in there. The plan is to do it as a charity single. We're hoping for it to be out by the summer." He was also asked what it's like being friends with such a mega pop star, to which he replied, "Weird. I've spoken to him very regularly over the last 2 years. Like me, he's a real Suffolk boy. When he came to the studio that day, he didn't come down with a cavalcade of reporters. He turned up on his own, guitar on his back, Cradle of Filth hoodie on, and got on with it. It was fucking great. This is, of course, not Ed's first time collaborating with somebody from the rock and metal world, as last year he released a song called Bad Habits with Bring Me the Horizon, who Danny Filth has worked with as well. But obviously that is still very, very far away from Cradle of Filth. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty fucking stoked about this. Honestly, I'm not really a huge Cradle fan. I have seen them a number of times. They put on a fantastic show and they're a great band. It's just not my thing. Same with Ed. Immensely talented, but just not my wheelhouse at all. I can only hope that the song is something so vulgar and or satanic. That would be beyond hilarious. Of course it won't actually be like that, but you could imagine. I mean, just picture Ed singing something like Gilded, I don't know if I can say it, See You Next Tuesday. Holy shit, that would be over the top hilarious. All right, though, I gotta run. My fiance is ready to dress up as a nun and recreate that t-shirt, so I gotta go. But thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.